This is the story of Ada, the girl who was too beautiful to be touched by man. She lived in the world of flesh, but her destiny was tied to the deep. Some brides wear veils. Others wear water. Ada had everything: beauty, a good job, a lovely house. But at 28, no man had ever touched her heart, or even tried. She didn't know that some love stories are forbidden before birth. One act of kindness, one fragile old woman. But as Ada helped her cross the road, the woman looked into the unseen. "Who is the man standing behind you?" she asked. Ada turned. There was no one. Ada couldn't sleep. The old woman's words echoed in her soul. She took leave from work, returned to the village, and faced her mother with questions that should never be asked. Her mother wept. She told Ada everything. How she went to the river to beg for a child. How the water spirit king agreed on one condition. When she turns 28, she becomes mine. The journey to the river was heavy with silence. The trees bent like mourners. The water was waiting. Old now, blind, and full of secrets, the Ezewani sat by the sacred water. "You were promised," she whispered. "No man can love you. No church can break this. You were born a bride, not for land, but for deep things." Back in her city apartment, Ada tried to move on. But her mirror had begun to behave strangely. Sometimes, it didn't move when she did. That night, the mist returned. Ada rose from her bed, eyes wide open, body floating. She was calm. But she wasn't in control. The next morning, Ada stood before her mirror. She wore a white gown. But her reflection wore a wedding dress of shells, pearls, and shimmering scales. The reflection smiled. Ada did not. For the first time ever, Ada felt seen. A man at work noticed her. They talked. They laughed. For a moment, she imagined a life not written in water. On their third date, he held her hand. A smile formed on her lips. But his eyes filled with panic. His nose bled. He gasped for air. Then ran. He never came back. Ada returned to the river one last time. The priestess said nothing. She only pointed at the water. Ada understood. It was time. One night, she disappeared. No doors opened. No alarms rang. Only wet footprints on the floor. Beneath the water, she knelt before the spirit king. Her wrapper turned to scales. Her lips shimmered like pearls. Other brides watched in silence. Her mirror still stood in her room. But Ada's reflection didn't follow the rules. She no longer copied movements. She just stared. He came back one day, the man who once bled. He still loved her. He whispered to the mirror,
"I forgive you, Ada, goodbye my love."
And that night, he drowned in his sleep. In a house with no water. In the street, in old shrines, in the market. They now tell her story in hushed voices. She was too beautiful, they say. Be careful what you ask the river for. Her mother sits alone. The mirror in Ada's room is cracked. But Ada's face is still inside it. Not blinking. Not moving. And sometimes, she smiles.